doing this to himself.
But it affects my kids.
Of course it does. That's the tragic part of the whole story.
It's just like I still feel the need to not talk about it and protect it for my kids. And I always will feel that way. But God, if people knew, I just would never do that to my kids. It just is really crazy. Parenting, it's really hard, you know? And
you're not co-parenting with just anyone.
Yeah.
For the quietest, easiest.
But I had the best dad, and I had the best memories and the greatest experience. And that's all I want for my kids. As long as they can have that, that's what I would want for them.
Kim Kardashian has officially had enough of Kanye's drama, and she's making moves. She just filed for sole custody of their 3 kids. And let's just say, based on Kanye's wild behavior lately, she might actually win this battle. Now, in case you've been off the grid, Kanye has been going off the rails online. The internet went into shock when he admitted to having a relationship with his own cousin. What even? That's something you leave in the drafts. Or better yet, never type at all. People are saying he should be behind bars for that one. Of course, Kim was not about to let that slide. As soon as that news dropped, she reportedly had her lawyers on standby, ready to take action fast. Kanye's been calling out Kim for months, saying she's trying to keep the kids away from him, and maybe he had a point. But now, the streets are buzzing with rumors that Kim's not just going for custody, she's also banning the kids from being around anyone in Kanye's family. That's right, the whole clan is allegedly getting iced out. And Kanye? He's snapping back. He's basically declared war on Kim now. And if you know anything about these two, it's about to get real ugly. Let's be real. Kanye has been wilding out online for years now. But this new confession? Nobody saw that one coming. It's crossing into territory we didn't think he'd ever touch. What's really wild is that Kanye did all of this completely unprovoked. In case you missed it, Kanye just dropped a new track called Cousins, and from the very first line, it was chaotic. The lyrics? Straight up jaw-dropping. He kicks it off with, hanging with my cousin, reading dirty magazines, we seen some ninjas kissing, we ain't know what that is mean. Then we started reenacting everything that we seen. That's when I gave my cousin head. Yes, you read that right. People online were shocked. Fans couldn't tell if he was confessing something real, writing a twisted story, or just spiraling again. Some thought it had to be a metaphor. Others were straight up disturbed, asking, is he okay? But just when things couldn't get messier, Kanye hopped on Twitter and dropped a bombshell, completely unprompted. He said the song was about his cousin, who's now doing life in prison. Then he went on this emotional rant, saying, a pregnant lady a few years after I told him he wouldn't look at dirty magazines together anymore, perhaps in my self-centered mess, I felt it was my fault that I showed him those dirty magazines when he was 6. And then we acted out what we saw. He even brought up finding those magazines in his mom's closet, claiming they were worse than his dad's collection. And then came the most disturbing line yet. My name is Yeah, and I did things with my cousin until I was 14. People were disgusted. The internet exploded with people asking what they just read and why he would even share something like that out loud. Nobody saw this level of confession coming, and it's left everyone speechless. This is one of those things that should have never left the drafts. Seriously, why even post this? It's completely insane. Now, something else that had people raising eyebrows was Kanye's age when he claimed all of this went down. He admitted his cousin was 6 at the time, but conveniently skipped over his own age. Fans were quick to catch that detail and started asking, why would he leave that out? It had folks wondering if he was way older than he wants people to know. Sure, Kanye was still a kid back then too, but leaving out that info? People are saying it's suspicious. But here's the thing. Kanye's long talked about his issues with adult content. He once posted a public message to his daughters on Instagram, warning them not to follow in Kim and Kylie's footsteps. He wrote, "Don't let Kris make you do Playboy like she made Kylie and Kim do. Hollywood is a giant brothel. Adult content destroyed my family, and I deal with the addiction. Instagram promotes it? Not gonna let it happen to North and Chicago." That post caused major waves. People were divided. Some said he was just being protective. Others said he was projecting his own obsession. And it's not just talk. Several people who worked with him have come out accusing him of inappropriate behavior behind the scenes. One of the biggest cases, his former assistant, Lauren PDA, she actually sued him. Back in 2021, she was reportedly supporting herself through OnlyFans when she first linked up with Ye. He brought her on to help with the first season of his Yeezy Women's line. Then, next thing you know, they were in the studio working on 3 tracks for the Donda album. Even though she didn't get credited officially, Kanye later hired her as his personal assistant and was paying her $1 million a year. That kind of money had people wondering what was really going on behind the scenes. But here's the catch. Lauren says her job came with major strings attached. She was reportedly expected to be available 24/7, no questions asked. She agreed at first, and everything seemed smooth until things took a dark turn in 2022. According to Lauren, Kanye's entire vibe shifted. She claimed he started living like he was some kind of self-proclaimed god and suddenly demanded that she delete her OnlyFans account. And get this, after she actually shut it down, things got way worse. She says Kanye started sending her explicit messages, including adult videos, and things spiraled from there. She even claimed he would wear a mask during their phone calls, acting mysterious and unsettling. But the most disturbing part? Lauren says that one time, while on his private jet, Kanye trapped her in a room and did something completely inappropriate right in front of her. People were stunned, especially since this was the same man claiming to be on a holy path just months earlier, talking about changing lives and spreading faith. But behind closed doors, according to Lauren, it was a whole different story. She says he would say stuff like, "See, my problem is I be wanting to sleep with somebody. But then after I do, I want the girl to tell me how hard she's been with other guys while I'm with her. Then I want her to cheat on me." It didn't stop there. He reportedly went into graphic detail about his fantasies using wild language that shocked even his closest collaborators. One of the most bizarre messages? She says he even texted her asking, "Is my D racist?" Like, what? Fans were speechless. And if you thought it ended there, you're wrong, because things kept spiraling way out of control. After Lauren's accusations hit the internet, insiders started coming forward with their own experiences. People from Kanye's inner circle began whispering that this wasn't a one-time thing. Some said he had a pattern of using power to push uncomfortable boundaries with women he worked with. There were stories about late-night, creative sessions that got real weird, real fast. One former stylist even claimed she was told to wear lingerie to meetings to inspire him creatively. Others said he would go from preaching about faith one minute to talking about explicit fantasies the next. One assistant spilled that Kanye once held a 2-hour team meeting just to talk about his purity journey, then followed it up by blasting adult content on a projector in front of his crew. Like, what even is that? At this point, fans were left confused. Was he serious about his spiritual transformation, or just using it as a cover-up for his behavior? People started dragging him online, saying he was hiding behind religion while doing the complete opposite in private. The double life rumors were spreading fast, and folks weren't buying the changed man image anymore. Now, Kim was watching all of this unfold, and word is she was fuming. Sources close to her said she was done trying to protect Kanye's reputation. She didn't want their kids growing up seeing this mess all over the internet. Apparently, Kim's legal team was already collecting receipts, and these new allegations just gave them even more ammo. One insider said, She wants full custody not out of spite, but out of fear. And honestly, you can't blame her. While Kanye was making headlines for all the wrong reasons, Kim was busy building her empire, parenting solo, and trying to keep things as normal as possible for the kids. But with every new headline, things got harder. The court of public opinion was leaning her way, and even some of Kanye's supporters started to back off, saying they couldn't defend this anymore. People began questioning if Kanye should even have unsupervised visits. Online forums were lit up with debates, and hashtags like "Protect the Kids" and "Kanye needs help" started trending. It wasn't just about drama anymore. It was about safety, influence, and what kind of environment the kids were growing up in. Kim, who once stood by him through everything, now looked ready to shut it all down for good. Things hit an all-time low when Kanye allegedly sent one of the wildest texts ever seen. So disturbing, most people didn't even want to finish reading it. He reportedly wrote about his body in the most bizarre and twisted way, saying he was going to punish himself while staring at pictures of women who looked a certain way, mixing race into it in a way that made everyone uncomfortable. His words were so messed up, even his own fans were like, "What is he even talking about?" It crossed every line and made it clear that something was seriously off. And just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, guess what? Back in April, rumors started swirling that Kanye was trying to dip his toe into the adult film industry. Yup! The same Kanye who's always said that kind of content ruined his life. The one who claimed to be quitting it for good. Suddenly, he's back in it, but this time, trying to run the show. Even more shocking, insiders said he wanted his wife Bianca involved in the project. One source said, "She's freaking out," and honestly, who wouldn't be? Apparently, he'd been styling her in over-the-top outfits, walking her through public places like she was on a catwalk. But now, people think he was prepping her to be the main star in something way more explicit. At first, Bianca reportedly played along, thinking all the outrageous looks and attention would make her famous. But things went way too far. She eventually started sharing links to explicit content herself, knowing that some of Kanye's Yeezy staff were underage. According to reports, those same videos were easily accessible to young workers. There were no filters, no restrictions, and definitely no protection in place to keep minors from seeing or working on that kind of material. Absolutely no boundaries, just chaos. And just when you thought it couldn't get more unhinged, it does! Another insider came forward, revealing that in a shocking twist, Bianca, Kanye's wife, was accused in a lawsuit of sending a file-sharing link to a Yeezy employee that contained explicit adult content. This wasn't some random link either. It was reportedly tied to an app Kanye was planning to launch in early 2024. What kind of app? That's still unclear, but the content involved? Totally not work-appropriate. But wait, it gets worse. Reports also claim that Kanye straight up showed nude photos of Kim to Adidas staff before they cut ties with him. Let that sink in. His ex-wife's private photos, allegedly shown off like nothing. No boundaries, no respect, just shocking behavior. And it didn't stop there. Multiple former employees say Kanye would play adult movies during Yeezy staff meetings. He even used interviews as an opportunity to show off private photos of Kim, like it was some kind of twisted power move. One former collaborator said, "At the time, I thought it was weird, but now I see it for what it was. Him trying to tear people down and push their limits. It was all about control." And seriously? That makes total sense now. Fans are looking back on all of this and realizing that Kanye wasn't just being edgy, he was allegedly testing people, trying to see how far he could go, breaking boundaries to see who would stay loyal. At this point, people are giving Kim credit for holding it together at all. One fan tweeted, "Kim must be one of God's strongest soldiers because Kanye keeps pushing her through fire." Another said, "He needs the same guardianship they gave Wendy Williams immediately."
This doctor, one that worked with Justin Bieber, one that worked with, I'm not even going to name other names and stuff. My wife took me to do that, because you say something about your personality doesn't feel like it's bipolar. I've seen bipolar before. Yeah. She's educated, so I've seen bipolar before, and come to find out it's really a case of autism. Wow. That I have. And autism takes you to a Rain Man thing where you're like, oh man, I'm gonna wear this Trump hat because I just like Trump in general. And then when people tell you to not do it, you just get on that one point. And that's my problem when fans tell me to do my album a certain way. Yeah. I'll do it the opposite way just because la, I got my money, right?
Episode. A lot of people like medication. Do you take medication? Does it work for you? What gets you out of
I haven't taken the medication since I found out that it wasn't bipolar, that wasn't the right diagnosis. That I found out it was like autism. So
how does do you feel it working, or do you just take it just to make your wife happy because she says you should take it? Like, do you believe in the medication?
It's finding stuff that doesn't block the creativity. Obviously, that's what I bring to the world. You know, it's worth a ramp up. Yeah. As long as y'all get the creativity.
People online are saying it loud. This isn't about Kanye being crazy or bipolar anymore. The latest take going viral? Folks believe he's a deeply conflicted man whose secrets are catching up with him fast. Some even claimed he's been hiding his real identity for years, and now it's all unraveling. One user said, "You can't fake who you are forever. Eventually the mask cracks." And at the root of it all, people keep pointing to his long-standing struggle with adult content. They say it's been a problem since way back, and that no child should ever be exposed to what Kanye says he was at a young age. It's heartbreaking, and many agree he needs serious therapy. Because for someone with all the money and access in the world, lashing out year after year instead of getting help, that's not okay. As for Kim, she's had it, and honestly, who wouldn't? Sources say she's planning an emergency custody hearing for their 4 kids. That's right, she's not waiting around anymore. An insider close to her revealed that Kim no longer trusts Kanye's side of the family, and she wants to keep her children as far away from them as possible. Apparently, the tension goes way back. According to reports, Kanye's family never really accepted Kim. They didn't think she was good enough for him, and things were rocky between them from day one. But now, with everything going on, Kim's done pretending. She's cutting ties without hesitation and focusing completely on protecting her kids. And let's not forget, this isn't the first time Kanye's parenting style raised eyebrows. Just a few weeks ago, he caused outrage by using the R word to describe Beyoncé and Jay-Z's twins. That alone had people questioning his judgment. After getting dragged for that outrageous comment about Beyoncé and Jay-Z's twins, Kanye tried to explain himself, but only made it worse. He claimed the real reason he said it was because they refused to help him in his custody fight with Kim. In one of his wild tweets, he said, "Do I regret it? Number, I regret taking it down. My Twitter account is a one-way conversation. The only thing I'm mad about is deleting that Jay-Z and Beyoncé tweet." Apparently, someone from his music team called him, begging him to take the post down and warning him about getting banned from social media. But instead of backing off, Kanye got even more fired up. He said, "I'm so mad I took it down. Now y'all think Jay-Z's people made me delete it, so I gotta double down." And then he really snapped, tweeting, "Ain't no celebrity ever said nothing to help me when these white women tried to take my kids, just 'cause I wore a Trump hat. Forget Jay-Z and his whole family, especially that shooter." People were stunned. Like, what does any of that even mean? Some folks were saying maybe Jay-Z and Beyoncé didn't help him because they genuinely believed the kids would be safer with Kim. With Kanye spiraling online, accusing everyone, and crossing the line over and over again, it's not hard to imagine why they'd stay far away. And after all that, Kanye still turned it around and accused Kim of trying to take full control over their kids, as if everything he just said online wouldn't raise serious red flags in court. Kanye went off again, this time dragging Kim for having legal control over their kids' names and likeness. He said, "So a white woman got control over the name and likeness of my black children?" He was clearly heated, especially after finding out Kim had talked to Cardi B about possibly putting their daughter North on a track. He called out other celebs too, saying, "These dumb celebrities be trying to play in my face." But let's not forget, Kanye had already flipped out on Kim once before when she refused to let North be part of a song connected to Diddy. And with everything coming out about Diddy now, Kim's decision aged very well. She was trying to protect her daughter from being tied to someone surrounded by serious allegations. But Kanye? He wasn't hearing any of that. He aired Kim out on social media, posting private screenshots between them. In one message, Kim told him, "I asked you at the time if I could trademark her name. You said yes. When she's 18, it goes to her. So stop. I sent paperwork over so she wouldn't be on the Diddy song to protect her." Kim was standing her ground, but Kanye snapped back with, "Amended or I'm going to war, and neither of us will recover from the public fallout." Yup! He actually threatened to blow everything up, just over paperwork involving their daughter. Fans were stunned. The conversation was supposed to be about protecting their child, and instead, it turned into yet another public meltdown. People are saying Kanye's focus isn't on the kids, it's on control. "You're going to have to kill me." That's reportedly what Kanye told people close to him when Kim tried to legally block him from putting North on that controversial song. According to TMZ, the moment Kim found out about the song, she went into full protection mode. She sent out cease and desist letters, requested an emergency hearing with a judge and a mediator, and tried to stop the release entirely. And guess what? Sources say Kanye didn't even show up to the hearing. Kim made it clear she does not want their daughter involved in anything tied to Kanye's recent behavior, or the chaos surrounding Diddy, who's currently facing serious federal charges. She's been calling up lawyers, judges, anyone who could help stop that song from coming out. Because let's be honest, fighting to put your daughter on a track connected to a man accused of mistreating women? That's a choice, and not one a lot of people are standing behind. But instead of backing off, Kanye went even harder for Diddy. He took to social media in one of his classic rants, writing, "You bees were not assaulted, pardon me. Let me say it in ye. You mean 2 bees didn't get assaulted. You extorted men." He tried to downplay the accusations, throwing around coded language like ninjas for men and bees for women. Then he went on to shout, "Trump, please free my brother Puff. Free Puff Puff. We love you." Yes, he really said that. He didn't stop there either. He added, "I stood up for Puff, and I'm still winning. 20 Grammys next year and doing the Super Bowl." And then admitted, "My support of Puff is completely selfish. I need to find out who's been trying to take out black moguls. I just found out Puff can't even make or collect money while he's locked up." Kanye's doubling down and dragging his daughter into it? It's a mess nobody saw coming. Then came the most confusing part of Kanye's rant. He posted, "So I'm gonna send his half of the money to Justin. Puff got me too. So did I. Free Puff. Did Puff get me too? Cause of the fighting or because of the money?" And then added, "I never seen a broke man get me too'd." People didn't even know what he was trying to say. Was he defending Diddy? Was he claiming something happened to him too? Or just rambling to stir the pot? Either way, fans were stunned. Now to keep it fair. Yes, Kim had past ties to Diddy too, back before everything about him came to light. But here's the difference. Once the allegations hit the headlines, she distanced herself fast. Meanwhile, Kanye? He's out here defending Diddy loudly, even putting North on a free Diddy track. Let that sink in. That same track also featured Christian Combs, Diddy's own son, who, by the way, is also facing serious allegations. So now, not only is Kanye standing next to Diddy, he's putting his daughter on songs with people deep in legal drama. And this is the man who always talks about protecting his daughters. It's not adding up. When you stack all of this with his shocking cousin confession, it's no wonder Kim wants to completely cut ties. Not just from Kanye, but from his whole side of the family. She's not being petty. She's trying to protect her kids. And honestly, people are starting to agree that it's looking dangerous over there. Still, some fans are asking deeper questions. Kanye was diagnosed with bipolar disorder a few years back, and when he's on his meds, things stay mostly calm. But when he's off, it gets wild. Let's not forget when he said Kim almost didn't go through with her pregnancy with North, or the time he accused Kim and Kris Jenner of plotting to lock him up. Every time, it's the same cycle: chaos, confession, and public meltdowns. And just when it felt like Kanye couldn't say anything more out of pocket, he did. A few weeks ago, he referred to Kris Jenner as Kris Jong-un, throwing shots at her like she was some kind of dictator. But here's the real shocker. He also admitted he's no longer on medication for his bipolar disorder. Why? According to him, his new wife took him to a different specialist who gave him a brand new diagnosis: autism. Yup! He said he doesn't have bipolar, he has autism. And because of that, he's stopped taking the meds entirely. If that's true, it could definitely explain the non-stop chaos we've been seeing. Because if he's been off his medication for months, maybe even longer, then this wild, erratic behavior suddenly makes a lot more sense. But at this point, with their kids now in the middle of the madness, Kim's not willing to risk anything. And honestly, she shouldn't. She's doing what she has to do to protect her children. Now, I want to hear from you. What do you think? Is Kim making the right move by cutting off Kanye's side of the family? Or do you think she's doing too much? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss another breakdown like this. There's way more coming. And trust me, you'll want to stay tuned.